Hi guys, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to Sasha Reads, and this is my video introducing you to my TBR game. You can probably tell from the title, thumbnail, blah blah blah, but I am bringing a new TBR game to this channel, a new one. I've never done one before. I've done like other people's ones, like for their, you know, like their monthly readathons or whatever. But today I am doing one where I incorporate two of my favorite hobbies and I'm gonna mesh them together. You haven't already seen my Pokemon Go chooses my next read video. I'll link it up above for you here, but I'm going to expand on that. Instead of choosing a Pokemon and like reading their Pokédex entry and then trying to find a book, I have connected Pokemon types to bookish prompts. Yeah, so there's 18 Pokemon types, and when I open up Pokemon Go, in my home area there's usually about like 6 to 8 Pokemon spawning, and so for each Pokemon I catch, whatever Pokemon type they are is the prompt that I will choose to pick my TBR for the month. Sometimes I might make exceptions, but that's okay. It's my TBR, it's my rules, my game. And yeah, let's just see. I'll start off telling you what the types are to prompts, and then we'll go into Pokemon Go. So if I catch a ghost type, I need to pick a paranormal book. If I pick a fire type, I need to pick a book with spice in it. If I catch a normal type, I need to pick a women's fiction book or a classic. If it's a grass type, I read a middle grade. If it's a fairy type, I pick a fae book, or book with fae in it. If it's a bug type, I pick a book that will make me cry. If I catch a dark type, I need to pick a dark romance book. If I catch an ice type Pokemon, I need to either pick a polar fantasy or a book set in winter. If I catch an electric type Pokemon, I need to pick a young adult book. If I catch a water type Pokemon, I need to pick a pirate themed book. That one might change. If I catch a dragon type, I need to pick a high fantasy. If I catch a ground type, I need to pick a desert fantasy or somewhere set at the beach. If I catch a flying type, a sci-fi book. A fighting type, a book with sports in it. A psychic type, I need to choose do a poll pick on Instagram. Catch a poison type, I need to read a retelling. And if I catch a rock type, I need to pick a gifted book. And if I catch a steel type, I need to read a book with the chosen one trope. Don't know how I'll do it, but like sometimes you get shiny Pokemon. I don't know if if it's shiny, maybe I'll change it to like mood read, pick whatever I want. Maybe it'll be like, oh, that I can buy a book for this month. And if I catch a shadow Pokemon, which is one of Team Rocket's Pokemon, I will steal a book off someone else's TBR. So those are just the basic rules for now. Let me know down below if you got any suggestions, see how I can incorporate into Pokemon Go choosing my monthly TBRs. But I'm super excited and I hope you are too. So now let's get into Pokemon Go, see what books I'll be reading for the month of January. Now, right now it is the 18th of December, so we are in the middle of Community Day, and that's why I chose today, because hopefully we'll have a large amount of Pokemon types instead of just the normal ice type event happening at the moment. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Pokemon. So let's see what I catch and what I'll be reading. So first of all, this is a Starly, so it's a normal and flying type. Ooh. Let's put a berry on so it doesn't want to run away from me. Alrighty. Alright, Alright, so the first Pokemon I caught was a Starly, which is a normal slash flying type Pokemon. And so I'm going to go with a normal prompt, which was like a women's fiction slash literary fiction slash non-fiction slash whatever. And I'm going to pick up The Other Side of Beautiful by Kim Locke. I got this from the publisher last year or the year before. I actually, do I have a bookmark in here? I have read some of it, but I want to start it again and actually finish it. But this is about Mercy Blaine, whose house was just burnt down. Unfortunately for Mercy, this goes beyond the disaster it would be for most people, because she hasn't been outside of that house for 2 years. She's been flung out into the world she's been studiously ignoring. Mercy goes to the only place she can, her not quite ex-husband Eugene's house, but it turns out she can't stay there either. And so begins Mercy's unwilling journey after the chance purchase of a cult classic camper van with the company of her sausage dog Wasabi and a mysterious box of cremated remains. Mercy heads north from Adelaide to Darwin. On the road, through badly timed breakdowns, gregarious troops of grey nomads, and run-ins with a rogue adversary, Mercy's carefully constructed wall starts crumbling. But what was Mercy hiding from in her house? And why is Eugene desperate to have her back in the city? They say you can't run forever. So the bit I did read, I think it turns out that like Eugene comes to terms with his sexuality, so they divorce because he's not straight. And obviously she tries to move into his house and he's like, that's just weird, my ex living here. So yeah, she goes up to Darwin from Adelaide. Big road trip, super excited to finish it. And I think Sean from Shining Books really enjoyed it. So another reason why I'm hoping to pick it up this month. Okay, let's go for this Dino next. Dino is a dark and dragon type. So the next Pokemon I caught was a Dino, which is a dark slash dragon type. So I could choose either like a dark romance or a high fantasy. And I'm going to put those two prompts together, and I'm going to be reading To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. This is a dark Rapunzel retelling, which I'm super excited about. I know Yaz from Yaz the Bookish on Instagram won't stop going on about this book. And I believe it's like a captor slash captured kind of romance, like prisoner slash guard, and apparently it's very angsty as well. So 19 years ago, I was plucked from the heart of a bloody massacre that spared nobody else. Small, fragile, an enigma. Now ward to a beautiful high master who knows too much and says too little, I lead a simple life, never straying from the confines of imaginary line I've drawn around the castle grounds. Stay within, never leave. Out there, the monsters lurk. Inside, I'm safe, though at a cost far greater than the blood I drip into a goblet daily. Toxic, unreciprocated love for a man who's utterly unavailable. My savior, my protector, my almost executioner. I can't help but be enamored with the arcane man who holds the power to pull my roots from the ground. When ferocious beasts spill across the land and threaten to fray the fabric of my tailored existence, the petals of reality will peel back to reveal an ugly truth. But in a castle puddled with secrets, none are greater than the one I've kept for myself. No tower is tall enough to protect me from the horror that tore my life to shreds. So I'm definitely keen for this, and she will be going to Rare 23 in Melbourne next year, so I'm definitely keen to read it and pick up a copy from her and get her to sign it for me. Now you can see that there are some Pokemon that have 2 different types, so I don't know if I will pick one or the other, or maybe I will try to combine them. So Dino is like a dark and dragon, so I might try and find a high fantasy with a dark romance in it. Stuffle. So it's 3 Pokemon. Now the next Pokemon I caught was a Stuffle. So it's a normal slash fighting Pokemon. How cute it is. It is like a little teddy bear, little Stuffle if I say. Anyway, so I'm gonna go with the fighting type prompt, and that's going to be a book with sports in it, and I'm going to be reading Long Shot by Kennedy Bryan. Now this is a sports romance. I think it's a forbidden romance as well. Friends to lovers, single mother, and BIPOC main characters. So I own all 3 books in this series on my Kindle. I think there was like a nice little sale going on when I got it, and yeah, been lots of 5 stars on Goodreads. So let me just read you the synopsis. Think you know what it's like being a baller's girl? You don't. My fairy tale is upside down. A happily never after. I kissed the prince and he turned to a fraud. I was a fool and his love, fool's gold. Now there's a new player in the game. August West, one of the NBA's brightest stars. Fine, forbidden. He wants me, I want him. But my past, my fraudulent prince, just won't let me go. So I don't know if there's going to be cheating. It sounds... I hope not. But also it sounds like the OG love is a bit of a dick. So I might be okay with it. I guess we'll just see how we go. Rock and roller. These shiny and like purple and orange, and it's so cute. I love it. I then caught a rock and roller, and that is a rock type Pokemon, so I have to read a book that was gifted to me, and I'm going to be picking up The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards. One of my friends, Hannah, got this for me for Christmas a couple years ago, and she said she loved it when she was a kid, so I'm definitely keen to read this and then just see a bit more about her, because I love reading books that my friends loved like when they were little, and like just see little bits of themselves. So I believe this is about a nurse who one night she delivers twins to a really profound doctor in the area. The son who was born is perfectly fine, he's normal, but the daughter that was born has Down syndrome, and the doctor dad was like, get rid of her, I don't want her. So the nurse leaves, takes the baby and raises her as her own, and I think it's about that baby and how she growing up in 1964. So compulsively readable and deeply moving, The Memory Keeper's Daughter is a brilliant crafted story of parallel lives, familial secrets, and the redemptive power of love. Almost 400 pages, but the writing's not too bad, and I hope it's going to be, it doesn't sound like it's going to be an easy read, but hopefully I'll get through it quickly. Ooh, we've got an ice type and a steel type. So polar fantasy maybe. So the next Pokemon I caught was an Alolan Sandshrew. So if you know anything about the Pokemon games, the original Sandshrew is a ground type Pokemon, but the Alolan one is ice and steel type. So that prompt is either a polar fantasy or a book set in winter. And the steel prompt is a book with a chosen one trope. So I'm going to go with the ice type prompt, which is a polar fantasy, and I'm going to be reading Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I'm definitely trying to get through most of my like physical TBR this year, so that's why I'm putting this one on instead of others. But Naomi Novik wrote, I also wrote another one that everyone loves, but I think this one is, I think this is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, to be honest. So this is about Miriam, who is the daughter of her village's moneylender, but poverty beckons as her father's too kind-hearted to collect his debts. Then Miriam hardens her own heart and takes up his work. Her success creates rumors she can turn silver into gold, which attracts the fairy king of winter himself. He sets her an impossible challenge, and if she fails, she dies. Yet if she triumphs, a fate worse than death awaits. Irina's father schemes to wed her to the Tsar. However, the dashing ruler hides a terrible secret, threatening mortals and winter alike. Torn between deadly choices, Miriam and Irina embark on a quest. It's one that will encompass sacrifice, power, and even love. And it's been like blurbed by Catherine Arden, Emma Carey, Genevieve Cogming, and Zen Cho. So definitely keen to pick this up. I know a lot of people love Naomi Novik, so I'm definitely hoping that I will love it too. Got another dino. So maybe I might do like one dino can be the dark, and one dino could be the dragon, possibly. Alright, then the next Pokemon I caught was another dino. So another dark / dragon type Pokemon. And I'm going to lean towards more the dragon typing prompt, and that's going to read a high fantasy. And I'm going to be picking up The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is the novella series set in the Throne of Glass world. It's set previous, like before Throne of Glass, and I'm planning on doing a reread of Throne of Glass this year. So that's why I'm picking up the Assassin's Blade in January. So this is about Selena before she gets thrown into the salt mines, and how her life was like becoming the best assassin ever. Another styly. That'd be a bit hard to put these two types together because one's women fictions and one's sci-fi. I then caught another Starly, so that's a normal flying type Pokemon, and I'm going to be picking up Brave by Rose McGowan. This is her memoir. It fits the non-fiction prompt for normal types. So yeah, I loved Rose McGowan in Charmed. I loved her in Scream. So I'm definitely keen to read this memoir. And just, I heard that she's gotten into some pretty shitty stuff. So, like, not of her own doing, but it's been done to her. So yeah, I'm keen to read this. I'm trying to go towards some more of the non-fictions this year, but we'll see how we go. Now this is a Galarian Zigzagoon, so it's a dark / normal type Pokemon, and I am saying this as a voiceover because apparently I don't know how to talk while I'm catching Pokemon, so sorry about that. I then caught a Galarian Zigzagoon, so this is a dark / normal type Pokemon, so I'm going to be reading a dark romance, and I'm going to be reading Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I'll be buddy reading this with Asha over at Ash Reads on Instagram, and we buddy read Hooked this month in December, and I had the best time, so definitely keen to pick the next one up in this series. So this is a dark reimagining of The Lion King and focusing on Scar. So we've got Prince Tristan Fasa, get it? Fasa. Mufasa, anyway, was never destined for the throne, but that was always his brother, Michael, the same brother responsible for both Tristan's tormented childhood and the scar that mars his face. When their father dies, Michael is set to assume the throne, and Tristan is set to steal it. The leader of a secret rebellion, Tristan will stop at nothing to end his brother's reigns. But when Michael's new betrothed, Lady Sarah Beatrow arrives, Tristan finds himself in the middle of a new kind of war, the kind that begs the question of what's more important, the crown or the woman about to wear it. Sarah has one plan: marry the king and eradicate the Fasa line, even at the risk of her own peril. But she never expects the scarred prince. He's dangerous, forbidden, and one of the men she's been sent to kill. But the line between hatred and passion has never seemed so thin. As her secrets come to light, Sarah grows unsure of whom she can trust, torn between vengeance and the villain she was never supposed to love. This is exciting. Oh my gosh. And like a Sarabi / Scar romance, and she's been sent to kill them. Oh, I'm so excited. One more. So Starly is a normal and flying type Pokemon. It was introduced in Generation 4, so that's Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. I then caught another Starly. So as you're probably already aware, it's a normal / flying type Pokemon, but I'm going to go along the flying type prompt, and I'm going to pick up a sci-fi. So I'm going to be picking up Iron Widow by Ziran J. Xiao. We are buddy reading this with Ren over at the Reading Ren. Go check out their channel. So this is a sci-fi, a YA sci-fi I believe, and it's about this girl Zacian who offers herself up as a concubine pilot, but turns out that she, after her first battle, she's probably like the best concubine pilot, so she's declared like an Iron Widow, I believe. I think she's like trying to kill the king. I don't know. The back doesn't really give you much, but I'm excited, and I'm excited to pick up this sci-fi, and yeah, I'm just really excited buddy read with this with Ren as well. Okay, so I caught 9 Pokemon. Oh, look what just showed up. A Hobbit. Hobbit. A Hobbit. So it snuck in there, didn't it? Hobbit is grass and flying, I believe. Then we thought we were finished, but no, the Hobbit passed up at the last second, and so I caught that, and it is a grass / flying type. So I'm going to go with the grass side of things and pick up a middle grade, and I'm going to be reading Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Olsen. So this is the second book in the Mari and the Knight Brothers series, and this will be focusing on Amari after the events of the first book. So she's found her brother and she's saved the magical world. Now it's her first full summer as a junior agent at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, but things get worse. And yes, I'm just excited to get back into this world and to hang out with Amari and all her friends again and see what shenanigans they can get up to. So these are the 10 books. Well, these are the 7 plus the 3 ebooks on my TBR for this TBR. I am trying to participate in the pop culture readathon, which is happening next month, and there's lots of different prompts for that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a separate video or just add on to this clip. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below if you liked this way of me picking my TBR, this new TBR game. And let me know down below what you're reading in January. Are you reading anything the same as me, or have you read any of them? Hopefully it will be a fun reading month. Don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.